Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician's channel. And today we're going to be going into a Craftsman tools socket set. Yes, Craftsman tools. If you guys follow the channel, you guys may know that I'm not the biggest fan of Craftsman tools of today. And that may be due to the fact that I grew up using Craftsman tools and was kind of disappointed in the fact of the changes that they had to make. But sometimes companies need to make sacrifices in order to survive. And I believe that may be what Craftsman had to do. So even though Craftsman tools are made overseas, they still have a good lineup of good quality tools. I'm not saying in any way that they are bad tools. More specifically, the reason I don't look at a lot of Craftsman tools is the fact that they are a mid-range quality tool brand. And when you look at many other, because there are a lot, many other mid-range quality tool brands, they are slightly higher than most others. And that's the main reason I don't look at them. Same thing with Milwaukee hand tools. Milwaukee hand tools are also slightly overpriced. If you guys want to know my thoughts, opinions, and reasons as to why I don't look into these two brands very much, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd be happy to make a video alone. The reason why I don't really look into those two brands all that often, because both of them being mid-range tool brands that are overpriced. And throughout this video I'll be posting up pictures of different socket sets and what you pay per piece per socket set, so you guys can get an idea of what kind of deals you're getting from each company or each tool brand. And you'll see when it comes to the Craftsman V series and the Milwaukee hand tools, they are exceptionally high compared to many of the other brands. I think I'll be showing 4 or 5 different brands so you guys can see the difference of what you're paying per piece. And this is just in general. Obviously each socket set is priced a little bit differently, but it's a general idea of what you're paying for. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. But today we're going to be looking more specifically at the Craftsman 216 piece Versastack socket set. So even if you don't run the Craftsman Versastack or DeWalt T-Stack, this is still a good socket set, especially when you can find Craftsman tools on sale, because when you can find some dang good deals. So like I said, even if you don't run the system, it's still a good socket set. But keep in mind, Craftsman does have many other socket sets similar to this with the same things included that aren't set up for the Versastack system, so it may fit your needs better. But if you do have the Versastack or T-Stack system, this could be a great addition to your setup. So for the last 7 or 8 months, I have been using a cheap Cobalt socket set that I purchased last year during the holidays, and it's done okay. Right now it's on a rail system that sits in my work van, and it kind of takes up some room that I could be using for other tools or other things, where this Versastack is one of the reasons I purchased it or decided to get it was because of the space that it will save me, plus the ease of mobility that it will provide me when it is with the rest of the Versastack system that I have in my work van. So stay tuned for a future video where I go through a complete layout of my work van. But at the end of the video, I will show you guys this tool set in the work van and how it operates and everything in my layout. So if you guys enjoy, once again, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. But let's go ahead and get into this 216 piece socket set and see how it does. I'll be sharing the pros, the cons, the pricing, and just my personal thoughts on the set. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I have removed the packaging from the set, and I've went through and just wiped all the tools with WD-40. Since this is going in my work van, it's not necessarily as temperature controlled as the garage, so I want to make sure that over the winter and everything that these tools do not rust. And that's all I've done. I haven't used them yet or anything. So we will also be doing a video in about 2 or 3 months to update you on how these tools have held up. But here's the packaging that comes around it. So you can see it's a 216 piece Sae and Metric mechanics tool set, and it comes with the full lifetime warranty. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the actual toolbox itself. First, looking at the exterior box of the socket set. Up top you can see it has a collapsible handle that kind of sits flush inside of the top of the box, and then you also have a lot of different bracing and everything to give the box more rigidity, but then they also have kind of separators up top here in order to store some miscellaneous parts, maybe from when you're working on a job or something like that. And then same thing here, they have a little wrench logo. And then over here on the sides, they actually have a couple of tabs that you can actually attach some of the smaller Craftsman bit sets, one on each side. So that's kind of a cool feature. So obviously this set, it kind of looks awkward, but for the Versastack system, it's a great layout, and I like how versatile it is in being able to adapt other bit socket sets to it, and you can still stack on top and below. Now this thing is around 25 pounds, so it does definitely have some weight to it, with it having all three drive sizes here. If you're going to use this with the Versastack system, keep in mind it is best to keep this as low in the Versastack system as possible. You don't want all this weight up top, making it easier to tip over. But overall, the design, even though it looks a little awkward, it is a good, strong design and very versatile. The top drawer is going to be 3/8. Pretty sure they did this just because 3/8 is your most commonly used drive size, then 1/4 inch, and then 1/2 inch drive. So just looking first at the 3/8 drive, you're going to have a couple of push tabs here that lock the drawer in place so it doesn't, come out. Now I do like this design. I like how it locks the drawer. I do have another Craftsman Versastack 2-drawer organizer that the drawers are on slides and has a very nice locking mechanism. I think this box would be fantastic if it had those drawer slides and that locking mechanism. I will show you guys towards the end of the video what I am talking about. But for this, you do have 2 locking tabs here. You just kind of simply push in, and they are just they just slide in and out from here. Keep in mind, there's nothing holding this drawer in, so once it's about 3/4 of the way out, if it's any further out than this, it will fall out, and all of the sockets simply lay in here. So don't go dropping it, because these will end up everywhere. Looking at the 3/8 drive portion, what we have here is we have a 6-inch extension, a 3-inch extension, your 3/8 drive ratchet, which is 72 tooth. And it actually feels very nice, very smooth. I can definitely tell you the feeling of this is much higher quality than the cobalt ratchet that I got with that cheap set. The sockets have held up well. I just never cared too much for the generic cobalt ratchet, but these, even though they do have some weight to them, it's a comfortable design and feels much better. It works nicely. And like I said, I've already went in and oiled all of these, so hopefully they resist corrosion and rust a little bit better over the winter time. So over here on the left, you are going to have all of your SAE, and you have 1/4 inch through 15/16. So I do like the fact that it goes above the 3/4. You get 13/16, 7/8, and 15/16. You have a universal joint up here, a couple of spark plug sockets of 13/16 and 5/8, and they are just the rubber boot style. And then as far as SAE, it's going to be your top row 1/4 inch through 13/16. So you're just not getting the 7/8 and 15/16 in the deep well. Then over here on the right is going to be your metric. You're going to have 7 through 21, skipping 20. So a pretty good selection of both metric and SAE. And then the metric deep well is going to range from your 10mm to 19mm, and it is nice because they do include the sizing in the bottom of the drawer, and if you wanted, you could go in and kind of color the numbers to make them a little bit more visible. Not a big deal though. So a good selection of 3/8 sockets here. Now one thing I will say, on their larger sockets, the chrome plating is nice and polished, nice and clean, but when you get to some of their smaller sockets, I'm not sure you'll be able to tell, but they are very scratched, not clean. There's no like bad pitting or anything like that, but the chrome jobs on some of these smaller sockets, basically from 5/8 down and basically 15mm down on the shallows, and then like this 10mm, it is extremely, I'm not sure how well the video is going to pick this up, but there are many scratches. Keep in mind this is a brand new set. It was not used before. It was all zip tied shut, brand new. So just keep in mind that the chrome finish on all these sockets are not as clean as some of the others. It's kind of inconsistent. No like bad pitting or anything like I stated before, but there is some inconsistency to some of the chrome plating on these sockets. Same with the 7/16 and the SAE. So then in order to put the drawer back in, you just kind of simply set it up in here and slide it in and it locks in. Next up is the 1/4 inch drawer. We're looking at a couple of Allen keys here. You have your metric and your SAE and just kind of an open compartment over here. Then you have your adapter and reducer from 3/8 to 1/4 inch. Then you have your universal joint. Once again, a 3 and 6 inch extension. Your 72 tooth ratchet. I will tell you the 1/4 inch definitely feels a little bit stiffer. Got quite a bit of back drag on it. And it may just need to be opened up and serviced, get a little bit of 3-in-1 oil in there or some sort of lubrication to kind of free it up, and maybe some use with the ratchet will also free it up a little bit. And then as far as the sockets, the left side, you go from 5/32 to 9/16. SAE goes from 3/16 deep well to 9/16 deep well. The metric is going to go from 4 to 14, and they are just kind of on these pegs here. There is no 4.5 or 5.5 or anything like that, but still a good selection of shallow sockets. And then the deep well is going to range from 4mm all the way up to 14mm. And one thing I do want to point out when looking at the differences between SAE and metric, the SAE is going to have 2 knurled lines here at the base, and the metric is going to have a single wide strip of knurling across the bottom. Then you have some miscellaneous stuff up here, some nut drivers that range from 5mm to 12mm and 3/16 to 1/2 inch, so a good variety of those. And then you're going to have your miscellaneous Allens, Torx, Phillips, and flatheads, and then a couple of square drives as well. And then your bit driver, non-ratcheting, just your basic nut driver or bit driver. That is the 1/4 inch drawer. And here I wish they would at least have added how they have tabs on the front of the drawer. I wish they would have added those along the back to at least keep the drawer from falling out. But I did notice with this 1/4 inch drawer there is quite a bit of snugness compared to the other 2 drawers. And that's it. And then looking at the final drawer, being the 1/2 inch drawer, across the bottom here in the first row, you're going to have your metric that ranges from 10 to 24. It is going to skip 11, and then I believe it goes all the way through to 19, skips 20, 21, 22, skips 23, and then you have 24. Also keep in mind that all of the 1/2 inch drive sockets are going to be 12-point, and it is only shallow sockets, no deep well sockets included. And you're going to have a single 6-inch extension. Then as far as the SAE, it's going to go from 3/8 up to 1 inch. And then your 72 tooth 1/2 inch drive ratchet. It is just like mini socket sets. When you get big socket sets like this, your 1/2 inch drive ratchet is going to be shorter. This one coming in at around 9.5 inches. And I'll tell you one thing, it feels way better than the 1/4 inch ratchet. The 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive ratchets feel nice. Not a whole lot of back drag and operates smoothly, whereas the 1/4 inch one might just need some use to break it in. And then you are also going to be included a small selection of SAE and metric wrenches, and they're both just kind of in a divider. The SAE, you're going to have 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16, and 5/8. Metric, 8mm, 10mm, 11mm, 12mm, 13, 14, and 15. When you do look at these wrenches, They are not the highest quality wrenches. The chrome plating does seem decent on them. The stamping is nice. What I'm getting at is more of the material. When you look at buying cheaper wrench sets, the thing that you'll notice is you'll have a lot thicker material around the head of both the box end and the open end, and that's not necessarily due to it being so much stronger than your more expensive sets. That just means there wasn't as much machining done to these. Many higher quality brands will actually know where to machine to remove as much material as possible while still giving them incredible strength, whereas the cheaper wrenches, they just don't remove as much material. I'll go ahead and just quickly compare these to a couple other brands that I have. We have Matco, Gear Wrench, and Capri. The Matco I just grabbed a 9/16, but here you can see the amount of material they've moved along the neck of the wrench compared to what you see here on the Craftsman. The Gear Wrench is extremely slim compared to the Craftsman. Same thing with the Matco. It has a lot less material here and in the head around the back side. But overall, for being a big socket set combination, these types of wrenches are always included, and they will still do a lot of jobs with no issues. It's just something that you notice when you look at cheaper wrenches thrown in sets. But that's it as far as the toolbox. That just slides right back in there. So just to quickly refresh, going over some of the pros, it's Versastack compatible. It's got a good variety without a lot of the useless tools. It's got all 3 drive sizes. You can attach organizers to the side. The sockets come in and out easily. That could be a pro or a con. I do like not having to fight the organizer to get the socket out, so I do like that they're easy to get in and out. It's organized very well, and I do like the fact that the drawers at least lock, even though I think there could be some improvement to it. Some of the cons being the drawers aren't on slides. The drawers can fall out if you don't take them out, and then the chrome is inconsistent as far as some of the sockets when you get into the smaller sizes. So let's go ahead and get this installed. Real quickly, just like I stated before, I'm going to try and keep the toolbox as low as possible in this Versastack system, so we're just going to go ahead and remove this tab and this tab. And then this is 2 separate organizers. You have an open bin up here and a 2-drawer organizer. Here are the tabs I was talking about. This actually has a lever underneath here that moves these tabs here on both sides, and it locks in place, and they're on slides. So this organizer is actually very nice, and these 2 are connected together, so we'll just go ahead and lift that off. Lock that into place. So here, that is now on. That's it, and I think it's a nice little addition to the Versastack setup. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below. As always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you guys want to see a video of my work van layout, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And once again, see you guys next time.